All right, yo. So this week we kind of relearned something, and we're going to share it with you on this week's Tuesday morning tech tip from Pugliese Speed Shop. All right, yo. So this is like day one simple stuff, right? I learned how to ride motorcycles back in 1999, and what was I? 22. My buddy Greg Gomez, if you're watching, Greg, I love you, and I should probably not love you because you cost me a lot of money on all these bikes, but nah, I love you. But yeah, the first thing he told me was get on a bike. He said, you always get on a bike from the side. I've learned this many times. I took safety courses from the Navy and all that kind of stuff, right? You get on a bike from this side. You come over here, grab the bike, right? There you go. Simplest thing in the world, right? How can you screw this up? I'm going to show you. All right, so this is how it gets a little interesting, right? Greg taught me how to ride a motorcycle using a $300 Ninja EX500 that's been wrecked and rebuilt. I know at least twice. Once I wrecked it, so. But salvage titles and all that, so it was bad. Like the bars were kind of one of those. But it's a perfect bike to learn how to ride on. Obviously, that bike didn't have a Tourpack on it, right? It wasn't a monster like this with bags on it and all that kind of stuff. So what's going to happen? You guys will probably figure. I'm not very acrobatic or whatever, So I throw my leg over. What am I going to do? Boom, and I kick that thing, right? So you can see the other guys do the whole. Oh God, okay, we'll do this, right? And you look like an idiot, right? I'm off balance. And what happened if I kick this thing, right? Now I'm kicking the bike over because the stand's leaning this way, right? Not the best way to do it. So then they tell you, well, throw your leg over like this. So if you do kick it, you're kicking it that way. Well, I guess that's better than kicking it this way. But why do you want to kick it at all? And it's funny because I took the pro rider course, right? Taught by retired highway patrol guy. He said, just do this. Simple. Well, guys, I say I relearned this because, well, I forgot I learned it in the first place, right? So when I took that Ride Like a Pro course, it was me, Sean, and Kevin. And the three of us went in there wanting to be better riders, which we absolutely did. But the first couple things he taught us, we were like, what are you doing, guy? So, well, the first thing he did was kick the kickstand out from under his bike and throw it on the ground. And then showed us how to pick it up. A skill I needed shortly after. But the second thing was the proper way to get on a motorcycle. And the three of us looked at each other like, come on, And I was like, I was riding 20-something years, Kevin even longer, and Sean a lot longer. But we all looked at each other and were like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. The first thing I was taught, like I said, by Greg, and then when I took, the basic safety rider course for the Navy, and then the advanced rider course, and then the sport bike course, and then this, every 3 years you got to requalify, and, riding something in the Navy, so the amount of courses I took is just, it's infinite, right? So, I'm like, everybody taught me get on from the kickstand side. Why would I not do that? And I took that course about 2 years ago or so, and before I put the Tourpack on this guy, I didn't do it. You guys know I'm not crazy about Tourpacks to begin with, so I was like, I never have to worry about this. Well, I put the Tourpack on, and I've seen my buddies getting on and off the bikes with Tourpacks on it, and it never looks easy. They're always stretching, the legs are going with it. It's unless you're like this super limber guy, which most of the people I know aren't, you're going to look a little bit uncomfortable doing it. And then I was like, wait a minute. So I put the Tourpack on, and it was actually when I was put the giant bag in there, and I was like, wow, I don't have an awful lot of room in here, do I? And I said, wait a minute. And I stood on the thing, and I remembered the class, and I did it. And I remember the kid was down here, and he's like, yeah, that looks like it's a whole lot easier than what, the other way he's seen me try and some of my buddies and whatnot. So then, we're getting ready to go to Sturgis. So we're all meeting up. And I said something to my buddy Chad, who recently bought a bike with a Tourpack on it. Before that, he didn't have one. He had a Dyna, and then he had the Road King, and now he's got an Ultra. He's like, wow, that does look a lot easier. And he did it, and he's like, wow, that is so much easier, right? So, and then Dave was like, man, I never heard of that. I've been riding for a long time. And I was like, yeah. And he didn't feel as comfortable doing it, and to each their own, right? But he's like, yeah, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. But for the rest of that ride, for the most part, me and Chad both got off on the right side. And it was just a lot easier. And I started thinking, I was like, I was riding for 20-something years. Kevin was riding for 20-something years. Sean was riding for like 40 years and never heard of that before that class. Dave's been riding 30-something years probably. This is a guy that rode to Alaska, so like forget about it. He's got a ton of experience, and he's like, I never heard of that. Yeah, Chad's same thing. So I was like, you know what? Let me put this out. If you guys saw what I did and you think I look like a moron, then don't do it. But you know what? It's one of the many skills I learned in that class, and just another one I got to use because it's so much easier to be getting on and off this thing when I got the Tourpack on there from the right side. Like I said, you're uneasy, right? And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to give a little plug for that class, the Ride Like a Pro class. Like I said, we went in there to be better riders, and motto did we ever. It was an amazing course. Like I said, I've taken every one the Navy pretty much has to offer. Sean did the same, and Kevin did the same in the Air Force, and it was amazing. In fact, a lot of the slow speed, sharp turn type stuff that you don't really have. You don't practice that kind of stuff. In fact, my buddy Jason took the class before I did, and he was an awesome rider to begin with. And forget about it. Now he's actually competing. Like he went to Jersey and he's going to compete in these classes and that type of stuff with the cones that the cops do and stuff. It's amazing. He's a million times better than me. He says it's because he practices all the time. I think he's just a million times better than me, but maybe I practice more, which I do need to, because you never know what kind of situation you're going to be in, So it's a little plug to not only the simplest thing about getting on a motorcycle, never stop learning, guys. Thanks for watching.